These Cricut made Christmas Eve boxes are a great Cricut craft to sell for Christmas. Now, if you are selling these, you can actually purchase wooden boxes from Walmart for under $10 and they sell really well. So I highly recommend you look into it. I'm using Dollar Tree bins, so we're gonna get started with that today. I'm hopping on over to Cricut Design Space and I uploaded a silhouette of 2 cute little reindeers that I got off of Creative Fabrica. Then on the left hand side, I'm selecting text and I'm going ahead and writing out the names of the children. I'm going up to the font and I'm going to change it to my favorite font, which is Candy Christmas. That is my go-to. I love it, and not just for Christmas time, it's just a really cute font overall. When I am making things for kids, whether I'm selling it or gifting it, I really like to make the font something that is legible for children. When kids are learning how to spell and read, I think a big part of the excitement for these type of gifts for them is that they can actually read that it's their name. Oh my goodness, my name's on there, so exciting, right? So I try to do my best to find a font that's really easy for them to read and understand, because it just adds to that excitement of a gift, or if you're selling it. For me, it just makes a whole lot of difference for the kids. So I went ahead and did that. And then I'm just going to divide this up and get ready to cut it out. Now this is a super beginner friendly Cricut craft, so if you are just starting out with your Cricut, you can absolutely do this. We're just doing one color today, which is going to be black vinyl, super simple, and I'm actually going to be using my vinyl scraps for today's video. A lot of my Craftmas videos, I'm trying to just use up scraps and things I can find around the home or from the Dollar Tree for really cheap, because we are all about crafting on a budget over here. So I'm going ahead and just measuring out my box and then making sure my decal matches those measurements. Then we're ready to go ahead and select Make It. I'm going to select the 12 by 12 mat for this project, and then I'm just going to go ahead and move everything to one mat. I do so by selecting the 3 dots here. I'm going to select Move Object and then select the mat that I'm moving it onto. This is a great way to be able to cut everything out all at once, whether you're doing multiple colors or trying to just fit your vinyl scraps. It's a good little tip so you don't have to go in and cut multiple times on different mats. For setting my base material, I'm going to select vinyl. If it's not giving you the option, I mean here they are saved with the star on mine, just head on over to Browse All Materials and look up vinyl. If you have the Cricut Explorer Air 2, you can use the dial on top of the Cricut. If you're not too sure how to do that, just change the dial to say custom, and then you can do this screen here where it is Browse All Materials and select vinyl. I am going to attempt to use my scraps again for this one, so we're going to see if there's a way that I can move it around on my mat to make the scraps work. We're going to be making a little Christmas Eve box. Now typically it would say something like Jennifer's Christmas Eve box. Now I have 2 kids and 1 box. So I went ahead on Cricut Design Space and created a little design. I also used the silhouettes from my previous craft project in this video here, where I made some little silhouette ornaments. Just something super simple. I'm going ahead and cutting out a really simple black decal to put on here. Now my original idea with this was to create like Santa's little belt and then make something like that. But number one, apparently now at the Dollar Tree, especially in the US, you can actually buy the bins with Santa's little belt already on there. Otherwise I would have gone in and got a cuter bin for their Christmas Eve bucket. But you know what? We're gonna make it work. Now that my vinyl is done cutting, I'm actually removing my mat from the vinyl. Flipping over your mat and doing it this way prevents your vinyl from rolling and creasing, and it protects your decal. Using gravity to help you remove the vinyl from the mat. Now I'm just adjusting it and I guess sticking it back on the mat. I like using this as kind of like an extra set of hands. It grips onto my decal so it doesn't move around too much, and I'm able to use one hand to collect the vinyl. The other hand, with my weeding pick from Cricut, I'm able to just weed out all the little letters. And if you don't know, weeding is the process of removing the negative area or the outside. Now, as you can see here, I lost the B. I had to go ahead and kind of fix it and stick it back down. Now, don't worry, if this happens to you, you lose the top of the I, that happens all the time, the J, whatever it is, you can even just go ahead and cut out that letter again if you need to. It's not a huge deal, and don't worry, it happens to the best of us crafters. Now that I'm getting all of the letters stuck back down, I'm going to go in and grab my transfer tape. Now what I use for transfer tape is a little bit of a dupe, and I use the Duck brand shelf liner. It's a clear contact paper that you can get off of Amazon, you can pick it up at Walmart, and it's a way cheaper option You can reuse it for multiple projects, and it works amazingly to transfer your decal onto your project. I swear by this stuff. I've been using it for over 5 years now, and I have not looked back since. One by one, I'm going to be applying each part of this decal because I am kind of stacking the decal on the box. So I'm going to be doing the first name, and then adding the rest of the words, and then the little reindeer on the sides. Now this box is very smooth, so sometimes when you have a very smooth surface, vinyl struggles to stick to it, especially permanent adhesive vinyl like we're using here. So sometimes you need to take a little bit of extra care using your nails, your fingers, your weeding pick, whatever you have to hold down the vinyl while you peel away the transfer tape with your other hand. You can absolutely use your little Cricut scraper to go ahead and make sure that your decal's on there really good before you pull up the transfer tape, but I also suggest using your fingers and your hands to push it down. With your hands, you're able to kind of add a little bit more pressure and the curvature of everything, and it just helps to get that decal stick a lot better. So that's your little Cricut tip for today's video. Using your hands is really helpful, especially if you're doing something like a mug, a cup with a round surface, a Christmas ornament. Those type of things work great. I am sticking down the reindeer. Now, one of the reindeer lost part of its foot. I think my scraps just kind of ran out, and so my Cricut just cut right at the end. So I'm going to put it right at the edge of the A. That way you can't really tell that it's missing part of its hoof, and then we're good to go. So once that's on there, we are done and ready to start putting things into our Christmas Eve box for the kids. I'm so excited, and this is such a great little craft to make and sell with your Cricut for Christmas in 2022. Perfect. The little antlers are coming up, so we're just gonna push it down. And there we go. So this is a fun one because now I can fill it with a bunch of things that I've been making. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill this up and then show you what it looks like in the end. But this is a really fun one. What I would do if I were selling these is maybe on the other side put their name so that this can be used year round. It doesn't just have to say Christmas Eve box, you know. They can use it in their closet. Maybe they want to organize toys or socks or whatever in it. So that's a great little tip, and I feel like it really helps with selling it because you can kind of advertise it as like year-round multi-use. You could do so many different colors of vinyl, but I just went in with something super simple and classy, and we're just gonna fill this box with some goodies. Here we have the little Christmas Eve box set up. I put some pajamas, some cute little toys that are Christmas themed, maybe a Christmas book. This is going to be their Santa treat mat that I'm making in another video. We have some Christmas Eve little treats and a cookie for Santa. So it's all in there ready to go and just a cute little setup for them for Christmas Eve. So definitely a fun one. Thank you for joining me in today's Craftmas, and I'll see you tomorrow for another Craftmas Cricut idea.